Good afternoon, family. Thanks for checking out today's video. If you are new here, my name is Jonathan, and I created this channel as a way to record my progress as I work towards my goal of losing 300 pounds in 3 years. If you'd like to join the family, hit the subscribe button down below. Also, click on the bell icon so you'll get alerted when I go live or post new videos. If you'd like to participate on the discussion, like all the wonderful people here tonight, Cindy and Rick and Pretty Girl's mom and Plants Only Muncher and Carrie and Anthony and Our Tiny Acres, and I think I said Rick already. Everybody checking in. If you'd like to join me on my live streams, I do that most weekdays around 4 p.m. Central Time. Or outside of my live stream, you can consider joining the Discord I created. There's a link for that down in the description below. Also, down in the description below is a link to a Pinterest board. I get asked a lot of times, Jonathan, what are you eating to lose all this weight? And I say, go check out my Pinterest board. That has a lot of the great recipes that we've been eating on our whole food plant-based diet. Some of the recipes, we make them exactly as they are. Some we modify to our tastes or our diet itself. So if you're looking for ideas on meals, that's a great place to go. Today is day 774 of my 3-year challenge to lose 300 pounds. I've used a combination of extended water fasting and a whole food, plant-based, salt, oil, sugar-free diet to lose over 235 pounds now. I have about 10 and a half months left to go to get to my goal. I'm very excited about reaching my goal and then living the rest of my life at a healthy weight. If anybody has any non-scale victories they'd like to share, I'd love to hear those. If anybody has any on-scale victories, I'd love to hear those as well. Today is weigh-in Wednesday. I hope you guys were able to check in my weigh-in video I posted earlier. We'll be going over that here shortly. But if you have any on-scale victories, I love hearing those. How are you doing with your diet? Are you succeeding? Are you failing? What are you doing to succeed? What are you doing that's causing these failures? What are the things that you're going to do that will make staying on your diet easier than the alternative? So a bunch of people checking in, saying hi. Carrie's asking if I posted my weigh-in earlier. She didn't even look for my videos. Yes, I did post the weigh-in earlier. If you can see the updated weight up in the corner here, I am at 284.6 pounds. I believe I lost a little over 1.5 pounds. I think it was 1.6 pounds lost this week. I am extremely happy to have the 1.5 pound down, to be down under 285. That is a very big milestone for me. It's the lowest weight I've ever seen on a scale since I was in high school, is now 284.6. So I'm extremely happy to have hit that number, and I'm really looking forward to keeping it going in the right direction. I was really nervous this morning with the weigh-in just because the past week I had such a great loss. I was worried that I would see a little bit of a gain or not as much of a loss as I did see. So very happy with that loss, and I'm excited about the future, and I'm really happy with the momentum that I've started to build. Let's see here. Anthony asked what my weigh-in was. It was 284.6. So I was down 1.6 pounds. Yeah, it felt great to get on there and see that number. And something I've talked about a lot in the past week or couple weeks is not only seeing that number, but feeling confident that that's the weight I am right now. Not that it's some weight that, I'm at because I'm starving myself. You know, as soon as I fill my stomach up, I would be 10 or 15 pounds heavier just because I was able to get to that weight. But I was able to get to that weight because I was doing such a calorie restrictive diet. So it's really nice to be firmly here, to be confident that it's me here. That's another thing that a big part of this whole challenge, this whole thing, was for me to do this kind of on my own. And what I mean by that is that I'm not propped up by some diet pill that I'm taking, some diet program that I'm on, some workout plan that I'm doing, that it's me making all the choices. It's not, if some company that sells a supplement goes out of business tomorrow, I still know how to lose weight, and I'm maintaining that weight loss, and I'm losing weight. In the past, I had lost weight while taking ephedra back in the early 2000s, or more recently, in 10 years ago, I guess now, taking the phentermine. That weight loss was great, but it was propped up by an artificial source. It wasn't me doing the work. It wasn't me figuring out what works for me. Lots of congratulations in here. Thank you guys. I really appreciate all the support. That would be the one thing that I would say that I have used, or I do feel that I've used as kind of a motivational tool, is this YouTube channel and the accountability that it has helped me create. But again, that's all on me, because if I decided to quit posting videos, then it wouldn't be, then it would be over, but that's not my plan. So I'm happy to be here, and I'm confident that I'm going to continue making my way towards my goal. I actually, to be honest, I was disappointed it wasn't less this morning, just based on the weigh-ins from earlier this week and the end of last week. I thought maybe I would be less than I even was today. So, but having a 1.6 pound weight loss is amazing. Rick says it helps you guys as well. Oh, I appreciate that. And Christy says that my consistency is inspiring, and consistency has been a big part of this for me. Is that, when I put those when I link a chain together, and every day I do everything right, I can add a link to that chain. And now I can sit here and say that chain, I think it's like 74 days long, that I've been completely compliant on my whole food, plant-based, salt, oil, sugar-free diet. And I'm reaping the rewards of that consistency. And I'm very excited about continuing on. Rochelle says, way to go. Thank you so much. I did not talk about food since yesterday, and maybe this is part of the reason I didn't have as big of a weight loss as I wanted. No, I really don't think the dinner last night, but we did have a meal that I've gone back and forth on, of whether or not to have it with the sauce or not. Let me pull up this photo. So this is our, I think it's called sweet potato casserole, but it's sweet potatoes, chickpeas, and rice. And then there's a sauce on it that is a tahini sauce. So it's a sesame seed based sauce. I've gone back and forth. I've eaten it without the sauce, and then this I actually ate with a little bit of sauce yesterday. I do enjoy the meal a lot. And I had a lot of food last night, and I mentioned that yesterday, that I feel like I have been eating a lot of food the last few days. When we had the vegetable barley soup 2 nights ago, I had a second serving of that and finished off what we had of that. And then last night with this meal, I did the same thing, kind of finished off what we had left. But a part of that too, I think, is that I'm not snacking later in the day, so I am getting as many calories in, or as much food volume in, as I can get in while I'm allowing myself to eat, because I have been I haven't been like strict kitchen closes when dinner's done, but within a half hour of dinner being done, I don't grab any more fruit or any more food from the cupboards. And I feel like that is helping me as well with my current weight loss, just cutting out the late night snacking. has been helping. And then for breakfast this morning, this is the oatmeal. I took like 3 or 4 different photos of the oatmeal. I just couldn't find a good spot with lighting, but that is our standard oatmeal that we have pretty much every single day. It's still amazing to me. I don't get sick of it. In fact, I enjoy it more and more each time I eat it. I talked a little bit yesterday about the texture of eating like oat groats and brown rice and the barley and the vegetable barley. I think there's something very satisfying about eating foods like that and the chewing it up and just the texture, you know. And the reason why I think that it has any importance is because of the books I've read and how companies specifically spend millions and millions of dollars to try to develop the best texture that a food has. And I think it was in the Salt, Sugar, Fat book or some reference that I read that like a Cheetos, the Cheetos chip, that consistency, that texture of it is intentional because it has this satisfyingness to it. Even the having to like pick it out of your teeth might be part of the satisfying aspect of eating Cheetos. And they spent millions of dollars to develop the texture feel of foods so that you'll buy their food over their competitors or over another option. So that's why I even think about texture or give it a consideration when I eat food, is because I know that there's some corporation out there right now doing a test or doing a study to try to figure out how to change the texture of their food to be more appealing to me and everybody else. So if it's that important that companies are investing millions of dollars into it, then maybe it does have an effect on our diet. And I eat a lot of foods that I feel like I get an additional enjoyment out of the texture of food. I just in my head, I'm almost equating it to like a cat playing with a mouse. Like when you see a cat playing with a mouse, it's enjoying its meal essentially. Like that's part of the process for it to enjoy its meal. With humans, I feel like our chewing of the food is part of the process of enjoying our food. And that's, you know, our tongue obviously is a huge aspect of that too. So that was breakfast. And then for lunch, this was a massive bowl of potatoes. It was a combination of russet potatoes and golden potatoes or Yukon Gold potatoes, and then broccoli in there. And I did take a little bit of the leftover tahini sauce and mix it in with the potatoes. It gave it a different taste and it was enjoyable, but it wasn't something where I'm not going to start adding tahini or try to, you know, find excuses to put tahini in my potatoes and broccoli. I enjoy them without any added flavor. It just had a little bit of an extra spice to it today. So that was my food. Like I said, I got to hit the right buttons here. Again, wrong button. It's one that doesn't have an icon next to it. So, yeah, food has been great, extremely satisfying. And that has been a big key to this whole thing, is being able to go to bed with a full stomach and be satisfied. Something I titled the stream today here, setting and achieving your goals. And one of the books that I read more recently was the Atomic Habits book from James Clear. I think that was the right author of the book. And he talks a lot about setting and achieving goals and what you have to do to reach your goals, you know, not just think you want to do this thing, but actually putting the plan into place. And when I think about that book, I reflect back a lot about how I did a lot of the things that he talked about in this book without even realizing that I was doing them. But one of the things that we need to do is when you're thinking about setting a goal, you need to vocalize that goal. You need to set a time frame for that goal. You have to have a definitive outcome or a definitive like I said, goal. But and one of the things he talks about in the book is, sitting in your head or sitting down and saying, I'm going to achieve this milestone within this time, and I'm going to do it this way. And I did that with this channel. I said, I'm going to lose 300 pounds within 3 years, and I'm going to do it. Initially I said, in my head, I was like, I'm going to do it by fasting. That was my big thing. I'm going to start doing fasting, and that's going to help me lose weight. But the thing that remained constant was this channel. I said that I was going to do it, and I was going to hold myself accountable by starting a YouTube channel and committing to posting updates for 3 years. And at the time, I didn't think a whole lot about it. But now that I'm sitting here at day 774, I'm realizing how important those initial steps were. The initial finally getting up and doing it and going. And, at the end of the videos, I ask you guys, or I tell you, don't delay, get started now. And, in hindsight, I do wish that I would have found a way to get started sooner, but I'm happy with the process that I took to get started. And by giving myself or setting that goal, setting that timeline, and establishing how I'm going to do it, that was the initial kind of pebble that needed to fall for the avalanche to happen. And I feel like I just want people to understand, that if you're sitting there and you are continuing to drag your feet or kick the can down the road, that if you take the time to set declare what you're going to do, even do it in the comment down below, tell me what you're going to do, how long it's going to take you to do it, and how you're going to do it. And then start working towards achieving that end. For me, it was lose weight, do it in 3 years. Maybe it was by any means possible kind of thing is what my intention was, because going into this diet, if you'd have said, John, you're going to be sitting down 774 days later, telling people to eat a whole food, plant-based, salt, oil, sugar-free diet, then I would have told you you're crazy, and there's no way that's what I would have done. But going in, I was going to do it by whatever means I had to do it. And I feel so fortunate that I stumbled into or clicked into through YouTube the teachings or the things that they talk about in the Pleasure Trap book and the True North Clinic, and then going on and listening to Dr. Fuhrman's books and Dr. Greger's books and all the other plant-based doctors and plant-based influencers or athletes that I've read their books. I'm so happy that I went that direction, or it led me that direction. And I was open to following whatever path I had to follow. And, but I do think of all the people that, maybe tried starting what I've done and got a month or two in and the diets were not sustainable, and then they fell off. There's one guy in particular that I didn't know he was doing kind of a daily thing like I do, like, hey, it's day 250 of my weight loss challenge, or me trying to lose weight. But he made it maybe a little bit over a year, and he was struggling a lot. Like, he had quit losing weight for a long time, and now he's gone, hasn't posted videos for weeks or months. And I'm sure that lots of people out there, you guys know, have had lots of people that you followed that you were excited about what they were going to do, and then they fell off the face of the earth. So, but for me, I didn't want to do that. And in order to not do that, I had to be very open about what I was going to do, because my going in, I was even thinking, if I have something that's not working, I have to go to the next thing to try to make it work. And I've been doing that with this diet. It's just hasn't been at the macro level like I thought, where I thought I'd be going from this diet type and then ride it out until it fails me or doesn't work any longer, and then go over to this diet type and then use that as long as I can and then go to the next diet type. But what ended up happening is I've stuck on this diet type, but I've been paying attention to the micro parts of it. I allowed myself to have the Ezekiel bread and the nut butter at the beginning. I allowed myself to have avocado at the beginning and fruit juices, but I had to make changes at the micro level of this diet to fit what was going to work for me. And so Rochelle here asked me a question a little bit ago. I hope you're still here. It says, are you teaching your children healthy eating habits? I hope they're listening to me, because I keep preaching it to them. Some nights I feel like I'm standing on a soapbox the entire time we're eating dinner. So yes, we have been pushing healthier eating habits on our children. As an adult or as a parent, the worst thing in the world is to listen to your kid cry or whine or want something. And so lots of times they do end up having stuff that I wouldn't eat myself. But I also know that they're not in the same boat that I am in too. Like, I got myself to a point where it's 520 pounds. None of my kids would on the scale be considered overweight. In fact, I would say at least two of actually we get them tested at the doctor and they're at healthy weights, but they're, in comparison to a lot of their classmates or their peers, they are the skinnier kids in class or the smaller kids in class. So, my concern is that, they will choose not to eat as opposed to eating some of the healthier options, because they know what is out there or what they could potentially have. And healthy food doesn't taste as good when you're still having sugar, things like that. And Carrie says here, Rochelle, that our kids are fully vegan. They don't eat any animal products. They are probably more diet vegan, as far as like open about it, asking questions, way more into it than we are. And the older kids, we've had, more, deeper conversations about veganism. And because for anybody that's doing this diet, the biggest things I would say is that you need to make sure you're eating an abundance of food. I think most of people that fail eating a vegan diet or eating a plant-based diet, or I don't even know if most, but some people that fail on this diet fail because they don't eat a big enough volume. They cut out all of the crap food, but they don't replace it. And then over time, it's just like not getting enough sleep. If you're not getting enough food or volume of food over time, it catches up to your body and you start to see health consequences and then they blame their diet on those consequences. But if they would have eaten anywhere near the volume of food I eat, or like the volume of food that like Chef AJ eats or Dr. McDougall eats, these people are still eating lots of volume of food. Our kids, yeah, so they're doing good. Let's see. Rochelle says your daughter is still vegetarian, but your son now eats everything after having an eating disorder. Your son was forced to eat chicken when he was hospitalized with ANA. Yeah. It's really hard because you want your kids, you want to protect your kids, you want to give them the best that you can give them. And like when they push eating chicken. I don't know if it was the doctors that pushed him into eat chicken, and I'm not exactly sure what ANA means. So, uh, anti-nuclear antibody test. Was it a test he had to have done? So they made him, or I'm not sure what ANA is. So, um, oh, okay. He had an eating disorder, and then he was forced to eat chicken when hospitalized. Yeah, eating disorders, especially like that eating disorder with people eating, under eating food, um, is so sad, and because, and the reason why, people can do it for a number of reasons, but I think that a lot of times they do it because they're worried about being fat or overweight. And, we live in this world with high calorie foods. And when you eat the volume of food that your body wants you to eat, and that calorie density is so high in that food, then you gain weight and you gain the fat. It, it's it's probably really tough to change that. So no, but and our kids, as they get older, they may fight back, I guess, or push back on this way of eating. And something that Carrie has mentioned, or that we've talked about, is that the best I can do is give them a blueprint of what healthy eating looks like. And the blueprint that I used to give them was not what healthy eating looked like. It was me coming home with bags of candy from the gas station, and then us going out to eat at a restaurant, or ordering pizza and getting fast food at any chance we could, or grabbing hot food from the gas station. The blueprint that I showed them before was awful. And now I look at the way I eat, and they get to see me eating lots of food too. And, I just hope that when they get older, if they start having issues with gaining weight, or not having issues with their health, that they'll look at diet, and they'll maybe kind of copy what I've been doing, or come to me at that point. But right now, it's I want to make sure that they're eating food. I don't want them to be not eating, but they will. And Carrie says, yeah, absolutely. They'll never be afraid to go plant-based should they ever stray away. It won't be as extreme of a thing to them. Yes, it's a normalized diet for them. Being a vegan is a normalized diet, which, me growing up, I didn't even really know what it was. And then even as an adult, I always thought it was weird. Being vegan was as weird as eating a potato like an apple. And now I do both of them every day. So, but something I was going to get to earlier, and I kind of got sidetracked, was that I switched to this diet for my health, and to lose weight and that. But as I started eating this way, and I started seeing more things about veganism and animal abuse, that has helped keep me away from those temptations. And so I came here for the health, and the veganism is helping keep me here, because I know that I could eat plenty of foods that are unhealthy and would tick all of my dopamine boxes, and they don't need to be animal products. And yeah, it's just a crazy way of eating. So, but yeah, and also to Rochelle, with your answer, I don't know how long ago you started eating a vegan diet, or what, the household has been like for you. But we started this diet kind of 2 years ago. In fact, yesterday, I didn't even pay attention. Monday was my 2-year anniversary since I since I ended my 42-day fast and started eating this way. our kids are young. So our oldest is 11. He was 9 when we started eating this way. And for the first 6 months, we allowed them to have animal products. And then after about 6 months, we switched them. And our youngest at the time were at like 4. So it was something where we have had this way of eating, especially our younger kids, they really won't ever have a memory of not eating a vegan diet at home. So, so I can imagine how much more difficult this would be to switch when the kids were 14 or 15, especially when they're already set with buying school lunches and things like that, and they get a little bit more of their own independence. But I'm not going to worry about what they eat, I guess, until I start to see the health consequences of it. But we, right now we can just give them the best we can. Let me see. I don't think there was anything else today. I'm very happy with the weigh-in. Like I said, it was great to have that. And I actually weighed in at, last week I weighed in after I ate breakfast. This week I weighed in after I ate breakfast as well. So when I got up this morning, I was actually lighter than what I weighed in at probably. But with that said, I'm probably heavier now than I was when I weighed in earlier because I had lunch since then. But yeah, to see 285, just not a number I thought I'd see. Oh, a non-scale victory that I was going to talk about a little bit was the shirt I'm wearing right now. It's a collared shirt here. It's a work shirt. This shirt I know because of the logo that's on it. I purchased this shirt like prior to 2008. So this is probably a 15-year-old shirt that I'm wearing. And when I bought the shirt, it never really fit me well, but it was the largest. It's a 3X, and it was the largest I could order from this company with the embroidery on it. And it never really fit me well, never fit me good enough well enough that I was very confident in wearing it. And the only times that it would have fit me would have been maybe in 2013 when I lost a bunch of weight, and then maybe a little bit in 2009 when I lost some weight working out. But I'm gonna stand up and see if I can get it on camera, I guess. But it just fits me a lot better, and I'm excited about it. So, worn out belt. There's even room for me to untuck it. So, kind of sucking in. How thin I am. Oh my gosh. That's just crazy. Huh? Look at that. Look at this compared to this. That's just crazy. Huh? That's just wild. Just the difference in my body. The fact that this is not, this is not wider than this is just amazing. So, anyways, yeah, I really like the shirt. I love how it fits. You kind of got a little bit of a photo of my worn out, or an image of my worn out belt there. I've talked about the belt. I'm kind of on the last notch of it. But I'm looking forward to having to drill new notches into the belt. So anyways, that was a non-scale victory I had today. I feel so much better about that. And I think I talked about it the other day. I had somebody, huge compliment of my weight loss and how much I looked better. Carrie says I better put a belt on my Christmas list. Yes, I need to put a vegan belt on my Christmas list. I think this might be a leather belt, but I felt like I should wear it out as much as possible. Anthony says I'm so good looking that Carrie turned into an owl. She said, "Whoo whoo." That's great. Yes, it is a great non-scale victory. And it fits really good. Like, it's loose, and I'm not wearing compression clothing underneath it. That's something else too. That when I lost weight the last time, I know that when I was kind of at this weight, everything I was wearing compression clothing underneath. And I haven't really worn a lot of compression clothing recently, but I'm sure that it would make me look even thinner or squeeze things even more. But yeah, just, really seeing myself in the camera there was surprising how thin I looked. So I even surprise myself sometimes. I don't get in front of a mirror a whole lot, but thank you guys so much for all the support. Without your guys' support, I wouldn't have that comparison. I wouldn't be where I'm at today. I wouldn't be 235 pounds lighter than I was 25 and a half months ago. So I appreciate all you guys, all the support that you've given me and really pushing me to do my best. And, even just the little suggestions you guys have made over time for different videos to watch, different books to read, different foods to avoid, different recipes to try. I appreciate all of it. And it's all been building up to me reaching my goal. And I'm really excited to get to my goal. I know it's going to happen. I just don't know when it's going to happen. That's the way I feel about my goal right now. So thank you guys. If you haven't subscribed to the channel, make sure you get subscribed to the channel. If you haven't clicked on the bell icon so you get alerted when I go live or post new videos, make sure you click on that bell icon so you get those alerts. And if you have not liked the video and commented down below, make sure you do those things. Let me know what your non-scale victories are. What are your on-scale victories this week? Today's weigh-in Wednesday. Leave a comment down below about your on-scale victories this week. And if you haven't started your diet yet, get started now. There's nothing coming up. I know Christmas is 11 days from now, or Christmas Eve's 10 days from now. And you're like, I just don't want to stress about food over the holidays. I just want to enjoy myself. I'll get started next year. Bullshit. If that's exactly what you said last year. It's exactly what you said 2 years ago. It's exactly what you said 4 years ago and 7 years ago. You keep kicking the can down the road. If you get started today, 10 days from now, you could have already lost your first 10 pounds. And then you go into Christmas feeling a little bit more confident than you would have if you were eating the junk food, because you still would have felt guilty eating the junk food. You'd have just allowed yourself to do it. So get started right now. There's no reason to wait. Nobody gets to their goals, looks back and says, I can't believe I skipped Christmas in 2016. Oh, I missed out on all that fun of the food they were eating. Nobody says that. Everybody looks back and says, I cannot believe how amazing I feel. And if I'd have known how good I was going to feel, I would have done it years ago. I feel the same way. So get started now, guys. I will talk to you tomorrow.